council in a coffee shop. These type of innovative ideas. That's it.
Thank you. Mr. Mayor.
Thank you, Marty, and thanks to all 5 of you for coming out this morning. All 5 of you talked about economic development as a key issue that you're going to be looking at over the next 3 years if you are on the council. Balanced with that, you have an economy where people are losing jobs and seeing salaries cut. Of all the various economic development investments that the town may have to look at, one of them is Pettengill Road, an issue that hasn't had any funding from the state or the federal government. It may cost as much as $12.3 million to move forward, and there is no funding available. It looks like it may be a situation where there may be an opportunity for jobs, there may be an opportunity for additional tax revenue, but it may cost money. Looking at that as a way to balance how to deal with the economy and deal with economic development, how would you deal with this in the upcoming budget season, and how would you see it funded?
Mr. Seekman.
Pettengill Road you hear a lot about, and I know one of the things when I was looking at the whole thing about Pettengill Road is you don't hear a lot about solutions. All you hear is Londonderry's got to get this road developed, it's going to save our necks and everything, and that's not completely true. There's other development besides Pettengill Road that can work. I think Pettengill Road is a priority. It does have the greatest potential, when completed, to bring in probably the best and some of the bigger businesses and stuff. How we actually go about paying for that, I haven't asked exactly what the town council has done to get funding for that. I think there are alternative solutions we can use. There are the options of private investors and different things like that to get the road, and I know there's certain laws that restrict certain things for creative financing for that. But I think if we wanted to do it bad enough, we can find ways to get the road done. This economy is stressed, but it is one of the keys to bringing businesses into the airport development area. We also have other areas of the town, too, that are prime for development, too. So there's no way around getting around supporting your infrastructure to bring in businesses. When we looked at moving one of our companies to a location, and we have 2 of them in Mass, we were thinking of moving one to New Hampshire at the time. Easy access is one of the things we look at. Can our people get there in time? Or are they going to be sitting in traffic all the time? So it is something that Londonderry has to address. It is also one of the tax revenues that Londonderry is going to get. It's not like some other town's going to share in the revenue on Pettengill Road that the business it would bring in. So we have to make the hard decision, how do we want to do this? I don't think we should pay for 100% of it. The state's going to benefit too. There are other options out there that we need to be looking at.
Mr. Frieda.
Thank you. Well, first, I'm not sure that you heard me say that economic development is my primary goal. I think I said spending. But secondly, I think I would not support Londonderry bonding the cost for the $12.5 million for Pettengill Road. And I think the current economy has a great impact on this. If you listen to the people that are the major players in real estate development, such as Donald Trump and them, what they say is what you can see just by driving down the 93 like I do every day to go to work in Massachusetts. There's a lot of empty buildings out there. And the smart people that do this kind of investing and do this kind of development say, this is a time to buy and not to build. So whatever benefit Pettengill Road might have, I think we have to be realistic and say this is going to be way out in the future. And I think it's unfair for the current taxpayers for the next 20 years to pay for a bond to build a road where we may not see any benefits in 20 years, and likely not going to see any benefits in 20 years. There's another issue, too. It's fairness. We've got a lot of businesses in this town. They built their businesses and expanded without the town coming to the aid of them, without the town building an access road and things like that. Mr. Steer, for example, just did a big expansion down off of 102. That wasn't funded by the town council. So in fairness, whatever good Pettengill Road might be, I think the landowners up there have to take a big part of the step if they want to do that. Plus, what are we going to get if we develop up there? Some of the owners up there are talking about casinos. Is that the direction we want to go? If we're going to fund it, I think we should have a big say in what goes on in there. Just as if you go to a bank and say, I want to build something in town and I need a loan. You goddamn right, the bank is going to sit there and say, what are you going to do? I'm going to say, I want an impact on that. So I think with all due respect, we need to look at that and say, Pettengill Road is not the answer for Londonderry's future.
Mr. Farrell.
So, a number of media outlets as well as the state has identified the Manchester Airport as the economic engine of the state. 14 months ago, this town, I worked with others, applied for the Obama stimulus package to pay for Pettengill Road. We met with all of our congressional leaders, did presentations for all of our congressional leaders. I personally was speaking with the chief of staffs of each of our congressional leaders' offices down in Washington. Learned all about the earmark system, and whether I agree or disagree with it, people are getting earmarks and doing things. The state DOT has had conversations with us and presentations to them. Every possible way of looking for someone other than the taxpayers of Londonderry to pay for this is being explored. I don't believe in a TIF for that area. I don't believe the taxpayers of Londonderry should pay for it. As the chairman of economic development, I've met with the King family, the Nash and Tamposi family. We've had this discussion. So in order for that area to build out, we have to find funding from someplace else. The taxpayers of this town should not be paying for it. Whether, I look at everything from an economic development standpoint over a 10-year horizon. Now, nothing's going to happen immediately. And Mr. Frieda is right. We do need to look at spending. But we have to be a planner and look at these pieces over 10 years. And we need to go after every possible funding that does not come out of this taxpayer's pocket, mine personally as well. Thank you.
Mr. Green.
Yeah, I really do believe in the Gateway Business District. I think it's our future. At the same time, I agree with some of the other councilors that we can't take it out of the taxpayers' pockets. I've said that loud and clear. We have to be innovative and try to create a new revenue source. And really, the people that are going to benefit the most, besides the town overall, would be the owners of those lands. I think you really can work more with the people that own those properties to negotiate. I think you can work more with the state. The state has identified that area, as Mr. Farrell said, as the New Hampshire's engine, and it's for a reason, because they're very interested in the type of revenues that can be built by having a airport right next to that type of a road. So I think it is very, very important. But we also, as we talked about earlier, Woodmont got sold, and there's going to be a giant development coming there. We can't do anything about that now. No crying over spilt milk. So we might as well take a look at that area and say, okay, what exactly can, obviously we don't have a lot of say in it, but that can definitely be an area that can be developed and bring in other tax revenue for us.
Mr. Dolan.
Yes, I think that when you look at an issue like this, it's a rather complex issue. I think we need to follow the money, and that might help point us to the solution. Who's going to benefit from this development up at the airport? Well, you have Londonderry. The taxpayers are going to benefit because we're going to be able to collect real estate taxes on a much improved property. But as property values go up, the real estate taxes go up in that area. So Londonderry would benefit. The state will benefit from the business profits tax and the enterprise taxes that they levy on new businesses. The airport's going to benefit from increased passenger and cargo traffic. The landowners are going to benefit because of increased property values to them as their land becomes more valuable. And don't forget the feds, and John already mentioned that. I think that we need to look at those stakeholders, those benefactors, and then put together the right combination of funding across that entire list of benefactors, and that's perhaps where we're going to get the money, or at least look for solutions. I mean, I think we have to congratulate the current town council working with the feds over the funding for the North Fire Station. I mean, that was a huge influx of federal money through the grant process that saved our local Londonderry taxpayers from having to fund that. And so there are those revenue sources out there, and we just need to work hard, put together the constituencies, and work it hard.
Ms. Gomet.